Hey there and welcome. Let's talk about cavities. What if I told you that everything we think we know, the brushing, the flossing, is just scratching the surface? Today, we're diving into this really incredible study that flips the script, suggesting the real secret to perfect teeth might actually be hidden in the past.
I mean, it's a question we've all had, right? Probably while sitting in that dentist chair. You do all the things you're supposed to. You brush, you floss, you try to steer clear of too much sugar. So why are cavities still such a constant battle for so many of us?
Okay, so what if I told you there are entire groups of people out there whose rate of tooth decay is several hundred times lower than ours? Yeah, you heard that right. Not 10 times, not 50 times, but several hundred. That number just sounds, I don't know, almost impossible, doesn't it?
But here's the thing. This isn't just some wild guess. It's a shocking dental fact that was brought to light by this really landmark study, a study that dug deep into the connection between what we eat and how healthy our teeth are.
Now, real quick, before we get any further, let's just clear up one little term. The study we're digging into uses the phrase dental caries. It sounds fancy, but it's really just the scientific name for tooth decay. You know, the process that ends up giving us a cavity.
Think about it. A difference that huge, that dramatic, it can't be a coincidence, right? It's basically a giant flashing sign pointing directly to this super powerful link between our food and our teeth.
So the big question is, where did this unbelievable statistic even come from? Well, to figure that out, we have to go back and look at the groundbreaking work of one particular researcher and his truly monumental study.
And that investigator's name was Dr. Weston A. Price. He was a dentist, yeah, but he was also a researcher who, way back in the early 20th century, decided to travel the world. And his goal wasn't just to look at teeth. He wanted to understand what actually creates real, vibrant, lasting health.
He documented all of his amazing findings in this book, Nutrition and Physical Degeneration. For this explainer, we're zooming in on chapters 10 through 13. This is where he laid out these absolutely stunning observations he made of traditional peoples in Africa and Polynesia.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. What makes this part of his work so powerful is the direct, side-by-side comparison he was able to make. He was literally studying two completely different groups of people, with two totally different ways of eating.
So on one side, you had the traditional peoples of Africa and Polynesia. These were folks eating their ancestral, completely unprocessed diets. And on the other side, well, you had people from those same communities who had adopted what he called modern civilized foods, basically processed foods from the Western world.
And you might be wondering what exactly was in those traditional diets. Well, the source points to things like insects, animal organs, and coconuts. Now, I know that might sound a little different to us, but these are foods that are just packed with the kinds of fat-soluble vitamins and minerals that are absolutely crucial for building strong bones and teeth.
So Dr. Price has his two groups, he's got his data, and when he finally compared the dental health between them, the results were honestly nothing short of remarkable.
And this right here just illustrates it perfectly. This chart is a great way to see the data. Just look at the bar for the folks on traditional diets. I mean, it's practically flat. It's almost non-existent. Now, look at the bar for those on modern diets. The difference is it's staggering. This visual really brings that several hundred times lower number to life, doesn't it?
And all of that brings us right back to the core finding, pulled straight from his research. Peoples who were eating their traditional diets had cavity rates that were hundreds of times lower than people eating modern diets. The evidence was just right there, totally undeniable. You know, this really leaves us with a final and, I think, really important question to chew on. If our diet has such a massive impact on something as hard and durable as our teeth, what does that say about the health of our entire bodies? It kind of challenges us to completely rethink the connection between what's on our plate and how we feel, how we live. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.